Like, but I got a bigger heart. Yo, what's the word, everybody? I'm Bigger Heart, and we are back for another video. Alright, y'all. So as you see on the screen, FBI announces charges against Connecticut gang members. The video was posted 6 days ago. However, the indictment occurred on January 15th, making this a week old. So we're a little late to the party. The important thing is, I'm doing this video because apparently there are still people in the world that don't believe, at least amongst our culture, that don't believe skin color is still being weaponized, right? I feel it's important to note I am not a supporter of gang violence or any violence for that matter. But without further ado, we're gonna get into this video. Check this out.
Hartford, a major gang takedown. In fact, a violent gang has been terrorizing Hartford's notorious North End for more than a decade.
But a long FBI investigation has multiple gang leaders or associates in jail tonight. Your reporter Dylan Fearon is live outside the federal courthouse in Hartford with all the details. Dylan.
Well, Mark, Aaron, here is the 29-page indictment. The cases will be seen here at the federal courthouse in the capital city. But this gang, this violent gang, is accused of murdering people, rival gang members, innocent people, dealing drugs, selling guns, just wreaking havoc on one of our cities. We're learning more tonight about the dark and bloody war between two rival gangs in Hartford. The FBI says it lasted for almost a decade.
The Hoodstar Gzz gang, its members and associates, promoted a climate of fear in the Hartford community through violence and the threats of violence.
Once the feds started investigating the Hoodstar Gzz during its war with rival gang the Av, they realized the two groups were responsible for several murders and shootouts right near where people live, work, and even worship.
There's a community center, an event hall, multiple churches, within a block of where Hartford PD recovered over 50 spent shell casings after one single shooting incident.
Channel 3 was even at the scene of some of the gang murders as police investigated, including a night in 2021 when a 3-year-old boy was killed. Just hours later, the Hoodstar Gzz murdered a member of the Av gang. Here are the names of the 7 men charged with murder, racketeering, along with drug and gun offenses.
Now, did y'all see that? 7 are charged, and I'm gonna bring the names back. I'm gonna bring those names back. 7 charged. Why are they only giving us 3 faces? And it's obvious they're of the Black American culture. And when I bring these names back, I want you to take a mental note. Now, as I previously stated, I'm not a supporter of gang violence or any violence, all right? But I think it's important to note that they pointed out 7 individuals and only showing us 3, okay? Let's continue the video.
U.S. Attorney Vanessa Roberts Avery says the gang even took their operation to Vermont.
Some of the firearms possessed by the defendants were fitted with switches that converted the firearms to machine guns.
Cornell Lewis is a community activist in the capital city.
So there's a war going on, and it's not between just 2 normal neighborhood gangs. You have a violent South American contingent trying to push in and make inroads into gang territory in Hartford.
The FBI also claiming evidence piled up thanks to the gang members that they would post rap videos and other messages online boasting about their murders and drug deals.
They'll probably go underground for just a little while, but it's too lucrative. And they'll go back out and do what they do.
And Mark and Aaron, that is one of the concerns here, that some of these gangs may be so large in and around Hartford that even when a few of them get taken off the street and are put in jail, that they are large enough to continue doing criminal activities here in the capital city. We did ask the FBI special agents what the current status is with the Hoodstars and the rival gang, the Ave, but they didn't want to comment on that tonight. I'm your reporter live in Hartford, Dylan Feary.
Now, if you all remember this gentleman, previously he started speaking and said he has a 29-page indictment. That's obviously without the top page. The indictment is actually 30 pages, okay? But I'm the type of person that likes to look into the history of things. I'm from Chicago, so I have no idea I've never been to Connecticut, so I have no idea what it's like in Connecticut, okay? So as you see, I have several tabs open. So we're gonna look into a couple things, right? One of which is by Wikipedia, and it says Connecticut is a state in the New England region of the northeastern United States. It borders Rhode Island to the east, Massachusetts to the north, New York to the west, and Long Island Sound to the south. Its capital is Hartford, and its most populous city is Bridgeport. Connecticut lies between the major hubs of New York City and Boston, along the northeast corridor where the New York-Newark combined statistical area, which includes 4 of Connecticut's 7 largest cities. Now remember, it was 7 individuals charged. We have to take note of that. Extends into the southwestern part of the state. Connecticut is the 3rd smallest state by area, after Rhode Island and Delaware, and the 29th most populous, with more than 3.6 million residents as of 2024, ranking it 4th among the most densely populated U.S. states. Right? The state is named after the Connecticut River, the longest in New England, which roughly bisects the state and drains into the Long Island Sound between the towns of Old Saybrook and Old Lyme. Now I'm going to stop right there, and we're going to look at Hartford and the history, a little bit of the history of Hartford, where the name came from, right? So it says the English began to arrive in 1636, settling upstream from Fort Hoop near the present-day downtown and Sheldon Charter Oak neighborhoods. Puritan pastors Thomas Hooker and Samuel Stone, along with Governor John Haynes, led 100 settlers with 130 head of cattle in a trek from Newtown in the Massachusetts Bay Colony, now Cambridge, and started their settlement just north of the Dutch Fork. The settlement was originally called Newtown, but it was changed to Hartford in 1637 in honor of Stone's hometown of Hertford, England. That may actually be Hartford as well. Hooker also created the nearby town of Windsor in 1633. Now this is real important right here. The etymology of Hartford is the ford where hearts cross, or deer crossing. Now, let me tell you why this is important to me, because the first thing I thought about was our movie Get Out. Check this out.
jealous.
Not jealous.
I mean,
I'm not jealous of
it's
Rod.
Rod.
Y'all remember that scene, right? What I just read to you. The etymology of Hartford is the ford where hearts cross, or deer crossing. Guys, I instantly, that was the first thing I thought about, was the movie Get Out. So let's get into a little bit about the movie Get Out, right? Our buddy Jordan Peele, right? So it says, although this movie was filmed in Alabama, Jordan Peele has stressed that the story is not supposed to be understood as as taking place in Alabama or anywhere in the South. Make note of that. During a February 2017 interview with Bethany Butler in the Washington Post, Peele said he deliberately avoided setting the movie in red state territory. In his words, he says, "It was really important for me to not have the villains in this film reflect the typical red state type who is usually categorized as being racist. It felt like that was too easy," he said. "I wanted this film to explore the false sense of security one can have with the sort of New York liberal type." According to a February 2017 Geoff Herbert, I think I'm saying that right, article in the Syracuse New York Post Standard, the movie is set in upstate New York. Why is that important? Why is the movie Get Out important? Well, I just told you. Connecticut is a state in the New England region of the northeastern United States. It borders Rhode Island to the east, Massachusetts to the north, New York to the west. Alright? Down here it says Connecticut lies between the major hubs of New York City and Boston along the northeast corridor where Newark combined statistical area, which includes 4 of Connecticut's 7 largest cities, extends into the southwestern part of the state. Alright? The state is named after Connecticut River. So it took me to upstate New York, right? Right here it says, the province of New York also claimed jurisdiction east to the Connecticut River. To pursue this claim north of Connecticut and Massachusetts, New York granted lands to settlers, in what is now Vermont, at the same time that New Hampshire made grants of the same lands. Then it goes on to say how Vermont declared independence and pretty much how they lost that grant, right? Lost land in Vermont. New Yorkers lost land in Vermont. But did y'all catch the connection with Connecticut? Huh? Did y'all catch that connection? Now, I personally feel this it's always deeper than rap, and we have to be aware when we're dealing with mass media. But when I saw this, I immediately said something ain't right, right? Immediately. You mentioned 7 charged. And I've read the indictment. I'll leave a link to the indictment below. But if 7 were charged, why are there only 3 individuals being shown to us? Now, we as American, first of all, as a black American in this culture, it's very important that we start making these connections and we start looking deeper in these situations, okay, if you guys remember, the community activists stated there were a South American contingent trying to push in on the two gangs.
So there's a war going on, and it's not between just two normal neighborhood gangs. You have a violent South American contingent trying to push in and make inroads into gang territory in Hartford.
Why are they not showing us any of these South Americans or any of the 4 individuals that were included in this indictment? So I think things like, as I always told you, it's important that we start looking at this information, man, and stop taking things at face value, okay? It is important that we start looking deeper into these situations. But I'm in the video right there. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. And I'm gonna see y'all next time. I'm out.